the games begin?
On the March 3rd edition of Sports Guys in Ties.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
What do Pulp Fiction, Jay-Z, and the NFL have to do with one another? Plus, Ryan Braun is back and the boos have come along with him. But should he really be cheered and not jeered? And it's March Madness, so will the only undefeated team stay that way through the NCAA tournament? Thanks for joining us again. It's Sports Guys in Ties, show number 6. I'm Jason Kahn with Matt Galka. Not only do we have to sound good, but we have to look good doing it as well.
I try to keep up with your style sense.
Yeah, you could say that.
And I need all of you to stop what you're
now,
doing
Matt, for
and
a living,
listen.
We are reporters. Right now, you work for Cap News, so your reports go all throughout the state of Florida. You're
Right.
used to being on camera.
Right.
I've worked in two very different markets, two polar opposite markets, so I have the experience of being on camera too. So we know what the use of words are and how much they mean and how much they extend to a very different audience. This week, the topic of using the N-word has come up. It's been spoken about all throughout the media, and it's because the NFL is in talks to ban it from being used on the football field. The thing is, I know that you can hear it in pop culture when it comes to movies, when it comes to songs.
Right.
We hear it all the time. I want to know is, what does this have to do with the game of football?
I think it's really about setting an example. I get that part. You know, I first of all, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family and a community that didn't use the word, didn't teach me to use the word. I never had an desire to use the word. It's a very derogatory word.
It's a word you're probably used to hearing because of the movies, because of the music.
Oh, you hear it. I mean, in my life, in the music I listen to, whether I'm at the gym, I hear it every day. It doesn't mean I condone it, but that means I hear it every day. And it wasn't until really I got to college and inside a football locker room that I did hear it on a daily basis. It is used on a daily basis. And I understand setting the example and not wanting to spread the use of that word, but honestly, my feelings are this. I don't really have a say in whether this word should or shouldn't be used. I don't know. First of all,
does the NFL have a say?
They have an obligation, I think, to try and make a more accepting environment, but you watch a lot of things, you listen to a lot of different former black athletes. It means different things to different athletes.
Right.
You hear term of endearment thrown around. Now, as white males, we'll never understand the hurt that the word could be, and we'll never understand the endearment that it can have either. So, Roger Goodell, as a white male, probably doesn't understand that either. But I still think they have an obligation to try and make, with their reach, the world a better place. But again, this is so. This is such a word that it depends on who you talk to about what it means that I don't know. Can they do it? I think they can. I really think they can. I mean, you penalize somebody for the word, and then the next time they use the word, they're kicked out of the game. You can change the landscape, but I don't know if it's. I don't know if they will.
Well, as Matt pointed to, he and I will never understand the true meaning of the word and its extension. As far as we know, it is derogatory, condescending. It is malicious.
Right.
If anything, that is the origin of the word. It is meant with malice.
Right.
However, it has evolved over time, and it has become a word that is used within those groups as more of a friendship type of meaning. Now, again, we will never use that word, never in everyday life. Do you think this is an extension from the investigation involving the Miami Dolphins?
Of course, I think it stems from that. I mean, when you have a white player with Richie Incognito who was documented as using it and using it derogatory in a derogatory manner toward Jonathan Martin, Of course, I think it stems from that. There's fallout from that. I have to say, from personal experience, being in the Syracuse locker room where there were black players, there were white players, I didn't see any white players using the term
because they know what would happen if that's the case. I think that there are people who would be offended by it.
There are no exceptions. There are no some white people can use it, some can't. In my mind, so I'd like to think this is an isolated incident for just an idiot like Incognito to do it. I mean, I think he was being an idiot. I don't think he had a pass. I don't think he had the right to use it. I just think it's an isolated incident, so maybe the fallout, maybe they're trying to do too much from that one thing.
All right, well, first-time offenders, this is what they're looking into, would be penalized 15 yards, and then the second time they would be ejected from the game. Again, that is the use of the N-word in the NFL right now, but they're also looking into other racial slurs, and so is the NBA, which brings us to Say What from Adam Silver, the new NBA commish.
New commish.
He says, in this case, and we're talking about Raymond Felton here at least, the allegation is Raymond didn't have a legal gun in New York. Now, if you're not familiar with the situation, Raymond Felton was caught with guns without a permit, without being registered in New York, and that is a felony. He goes on to say, so it's a problem for all of us. It's an image problem for the league.
I've known Ray for a long time, so first of all, any gun charge has to be taken incredibly seriously. I don't know any of the facts concerning Ray. I mean, I've always had a terrific relationship with him. He's done a lot for the league in terms of events, so he's entitled to due process like everyone else and the presumption of innocence. So, we'll let it play out, but of course, I'm concerned that any attention is diverted from the game, from the wonderful things our players are doing to guns.
Do you think the NBA has an image problem right now?
David Stern did so much for that league to clean it up. I mean, I remember when he first mandated that suits had to be worn on the bench, and people were up in arms about the culture, and they should be, everybody should be allowed to wear whatever they want. But you know what? Since then, I'd say you wear a suit to your job, to your profession. You look professional. It looks better. That's just how I feel. That's why we wear ties, because we look so much better.
All right, that is the point of the show.
Gilbert Arenas, the situation with Gilbert Arenas, not too long ago on the Wizards when he brought guns into the locker room, or there were guns in the Wizards locker room over some gambling game. I mean, the gun culture is one that I think is a problem.
Not in the NBA.
Not just in the NBA. Yeah. I think in America, but in all sports, the gun culture of having guns and where you can have your guns. And
again, this is something that we also won't understand.
Right.
Again, we're not part of that culture either.
Right. Neither of us are brandishing our guns after the show. Like, it's not happening. But I think it is a problem. I think, look, owning a gun isn't illegal. Felton had an illegal gun. If the NBA and everybody I'm not going to get into a Second Amendment issue. People have the right to own their guns. Yeah. But education on where you should bring it, what kind of license you should have for it, maybe the NBA should work on that, unless, before banning all guns. Having an illegal gun, and in this case a high-powered illegal gun, I think that's a problem, and I think the NBA should work on education.
Well, Silver would go on to say that the NBA will always have a presumption of innocence as long as the court goes through its due process, and will take care of that. And of course, the NBA has its problems with the one-and-dones right now, trying to figure that out. The tanking issue, this is just another one of those problems. But I think that the NBA is at its best from where it used to be. Yeah. That's the interesting thing about this.
I think it's a lot better. I think the NBA is a lot better off now than it was 15 years ago.
I agree. Let's move on. We love haters. And the guy who may deserve or may not deserve the haters is Ryan Braun. Does he?
With the whole PED fiasco that Braun... Look, Braun brought this upon himself. I mean, I understand when you're making a lot of money and you're winning MVPs and you're accused of steroids. I don't know who these guys' advisors are, but it's deny. And in this case, Braun denied it, got off on a technicality the first time. A technicality, ran this urine tester's name basically through the mud.
Put him under the bus.
Yeah, threw him right under the bus, and then eventually he's found guilty. That looks bad for Ryan Braun. He goes on this tour of I'm innocent, gets off on a technicality, and then he's eventually guilty. Brought it upon himself. He deserves haters until he... public, as fans,
Makes it up for it. I don't know how.
We want to see remorse, I guess, and then we want to see the comeback story. So if he has a good year and he says all the right things to the media, people will eventually forgive him. But right now, yeah, you can get booed.
So yeah, you like the booze.
Yeah, of course.
There have been some haters. We're popping it up right now on some Twitter accounts. Ryan Braun, MVPED. Ryan Braun should be booed every time he shows up in public for lying and cheating and stealing the MVP. Here's why I don't think he should be booed. The fans love offense.
Right.
The fans love to see the home runs. And Ryan Braun, despite the fact that he did everything that he went through, the lying, the cheating against Major League Baseball, he hits home runs. He puts the ball out of the ballpark. He puts the fans in the seats. The fans are going to come to the ballpark and boo him, but they're going to watch offense. And they're going to be at the ballpark. They're going to pay for a ticket just to see him.
But they don't like being lied to.
They
Okay?
don't.
Fans don't like being lied to. That's my thing. So, like I said, if he goes on the Ryan Braun Redemption Tour this year, has a good year, and says all the right things, he'll be embraced by the end of the year. It's just right now, you know what? Boo this man. And then he'll come back.
All right, a guy who does not need any remorse is our icon of the week. Your boy,
Dale Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
Dale
winning the
Earnhardt.
Daytona 500 for the first time in 10 years. What do you think of that, man?
I think it's always... Okay, first of all, the rain delay was just excruciating.
brutal.
It was excruciating. And I love the fact that they showed the replay of last year's, and people thought it was this year's. Like, people couldn't just look up and say it was a replay. They thought it was... That was
News was fooled. ESPN was fooled.
That was funny. Okay, it was straight up funny. But anyway, I think, not NASCAR fans, non-NASCAR fans, they know who Dale Earnhardt Jr. is because they knew his dad died in a wreck at Daytona. So I think this has appeal. He's the most popular driver in NASCAR, whether that's deserved or not. He's never won a title. He went through a long drought of not winning a race. But he's the most popular driver in NASCAR. This is good for the sport. It gets other eyeballs on the sport. And I think it's just overall cool when Dale Jr. literally gets to win at that track because it just means so much more to him and his family. I think it's awesome.
There's no greater feeling on a single afternoon than to win this race for a driver. And I felt that 10 years ago, and it was the most amazing thing. Never experienced anything like it before or after. And I've yearned to go through that process again.
Yeah, NASCAR is basking in his accomplishment. As soon as he joined Twitter, the day after he won, right now, 549,000 Twitter followers in about 5 to 6 days.
Slightly above you.
Yes, just slightly above me. And according to Fanatics.com, largest retailer of officially licensed sports products, Dale Jr. has seen a 1,000% increase in merchandise sales compared to the start of last season. That's all a win takes for Dale Jr. So, Dale, you are our icon of the week. Any last words from you?
I'm sure he's telling all his friends that he's the icon of the week. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm sure he needs to do that. His Twitter followers, his 549,000 Twitter followers. LeBron James has a lot of Twitter followers.
That's right. So does his mask.
So how does he make his way into Are You Serious? Well, his mask, as Matt just brought up. Bane James. Apparently, it wasn't trending in the NBA.
Are you serious?
All right, Silver didn't like it. Our boy Adam Silver that we were just talking about. Not cool with it. The black mask, what did you think of it? Did you like it? I liked it.
I thought it was great.
But I didn't think he looked like Batman. I thought he looked like Zorro. I mean, Zorro was the most comparable. But still, a black mask. It matched the outfit. He looked intimidating. And not like if LeBron James walked in here right now, I wouldn't know who he was.
Right.
But it was cool. Everybody else has gone with the clear mask, and he just looked a little more
stylish.
Yeah, a little more edgy. It looked good. But that's...
As long as it doesn't affect the game, I don't see what's wrong with it. I mean, the guy right now is third in the league in points per game, 26.9, 6.4 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game. This is the face of the NBA.
The absolute face of the NBA.
So why not just let him do what he wants?
Well, LeBron's got to play by the rules, and they want a clear mask, and he had a bevy of different clear mask options that he could have gone with. It's sad, I don't think you should bend the rules for one player, but it's LeBron James, not like it's not like you don't know who he is regardless of what he's wearing.
All right, it's time for our favorite game, and yours too, Rapid Fire. And this is how it works. We're going to go down 5 questions. Try to do this in 2 minutes. Matt, you're going to start us off. Let's get the clock rolling.
All right, MLB just came out with who is the face of the MLB, and the winner, David Wright. Is he?
No, probably not. And I would say Derek Jeter right now. As long as he's in Major League Baseball, Derek Jeter is the face of Major League Baseball.
Absolutely. The face of the MLB is somebody the average Joe knows. My mom knows who Derek Jeter is. Does she know who David Wright is? Probably not.
All right, number 2, Wichita State, 31-0. Good or bad as they enter the NCAA tournament?
I think look, I don't care what conference you play in. 31-0 is 31-0. You'd think somewhere along the line they would have slept on an opponent or something. They didn't. I think that's great. I think they're going to go into the tournament, and if somebody thinks that they're a week 1 in their region, they're gonna be in a world of hurt because Wichita State is good.
I would just say err on the side of caution. Remember, St. Joe's did that. They went undefeated going into the NCAA tournament, lost in the Sweet 16, I believe. So just got to be cautious about that.
All right. Number 3, Virginia wins the ACC title. Is that a surprise?
How much does that kill you, Matt?
It hurts to say.
It hurts a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
a little bit.
It is a surprise. Virginia, I don't think they were probably the top 3 teams predicted to win the ACC regular season title. There was Syracuse, Duke, maybe even Pittsburgh up there, North Carolina, but Virginia. So I think good for them. Good for them, but I don't know if that's going to help them in the ACC tournament. That's where it's going to matter.
It's going to matter in the ACC tournament, but honestly, Virginia is good. They are a good team. I don't care what their ranking is. They are a good team. They can shoot. They can rebound.
Great defensively.
They can play defense, and they'll be. I have them as a Final Four team right now. I'm just going to say that.
Mark Cuban says the D-League is a better option than the NBA. Do you agree?
Is he talking about what, right? He's a better option than the NBA?
NCAA, rather. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
Let me clear that up.
Yeah, clear that up. Better option than the NCAA. I don't think that's good for the NBA or college. I really don't. I think players should have the time to develop in college. Commissioner Adam Silver was talking about increasing the age limit to get into the NBA. I think it's good for the college game. The kid matures in college, and then he gets to the NBA, hopefully a more well-rounded player.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's better to go to college at least for a couple of years, get your feet wet, enjoy the competition, and then make your way into the NBA. I think it's a better transition that way.
All right, number 5, Urban Meyer violates an NCAA rule by letting Tim Tebow say hi on the phone. Is that too ridiculous?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the NCAA is just going too far. Why not let a former player talk to a recruit? Listen, it's a recruiting tactic. The player who he was talking to, by the way, didn't even commit to Ohio State.
You know, old Urban Meyer always breaking the rules. You know, Jets out of Florida, first sign of trouble. Ohio State goes under probation. Now he's letting Tebow talk to the recruits. Come on, Urban.
All right, unbelievable. All right, try to do it in 2 minutes. That was Rapid Fire. Make sure to like, share, and comment on our YouTube page. This is Sports Guys and Ties. We post a new show every single Monday. Again, I'm Jason Kahn with Matt Galka. We'll be back next week. See you then. And of course, as always, keep it real.